Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Missed you guys. It's been a busy weekend. Okay. And happy MLK Jr. Day, if you guys celebrated that. If you guys observed that holiday and all of that. Hope you guys had a really, really good one. Honestly, it's been very, very busy. And I already know. Yeah, the tree's coming down this week. It's kind of sad, but going down, it's coming down this week for sure. But yes, I missed you guys. Thank you guys so much for saying that. Missed you 2 stars above. Just said, okay, I missed you guys. Real talk. But I knew that today was going to be crazy. Okay, and good evening, Kev Mack, all the way from Edinburgh. Okay, appreciate you guys. But I knew that today was going to be really, really crazy. We have some updates in the Rex Heuermann Gilgo Beach S serial monster case, which we of course are talking about right here. We got Sarah Boone allegedly had her hearing, her pretrial hearing today, and if we have not talked about Sarah Boone on here, and I probably will put out a post or a poll to see what you guys think. If you want me to give you guys a recap on that story or not, there's also Alex Murdaugh. He's having a trial right now as well. He's having a hearing right now as we speak as well to see if they're going to retry the whole trial all over again because of jury tampering. It's been absolutely insane. And there's many, many other things. Harvey Montgomery and the sort. Okay. Karen Reed as well. There's so much going on in the true crime world today. Is absolutely nuckin' futz. Of course, we're here to talk about one thing and one thing only. We got some updates in the Rex Heuermann investigation. And it's pretty terrible. Of course, justice is being served for sure, but still, no matter what, absolutely devastating to hear and to see any of this stuff transpire. So we got to get into some things. So do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Do not forget, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit that reaction button down below. That would really, really mean a lot. I know that this has already happened. This conference has already happened, but I wanted to get on here and give you guys the updates on this case because, and I know there's so much going on today. So I know a lot of you guys are going to be spread all over the place, and that is totally, totally fine. But for those of y'all who don't know what's going on, maybe late to the party, we're here to talk about those things right now. Okay, so hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, crush that follow button on my Facebook page, please, and thank you. Be greatly appreciated. All right, and we got to get into this. All right, let's get into this bad boy. But first, let me get this quick members chat. First off, Savannah, thank you so much for being a member for the past 7 months. I really do appreciate it. Good morning. Thanks for everything, Pascal, and have a happy new year. Thank you. You as well. Happiest of New Year's to every single last one, y'all. If I haven't seen you since then, okay, since I've said it the last time. But no matter what, hope you guys all had a wonderful one. Hopefully your weekend, of course, a little bit more up to date. Hopefully your weekend was really good. All right. Relaxing and all that as well. But as we know, okay, Rex Heuermann has been brought in for a multitude of unalivings. We got to use these code words on this show, guys, unfortunately. Okay. And there have been 3 that have been connected to Rex Heuermann. We did a whole breakdown. We talked about it. A pizza box, like some crust from a pizza and a pizza box is what connected him, what helped them solidify and zero more in on Rex Heuermann. There's more than just that. There's burner phones. There's him taking trips to Verizon and paying up his bill on his burner phones so that he can continue to go out there and do these unthinkable things to these women. Okay. It's absolutely crazy. The four are women right now. Okay, the fourth, of course, is a woman as well. But there are some speculation. They are doing some investigations into other people, other victims that may not be all female. Okay, because there was other remains found out there that were of male, which is very interesting as well. But let me get into this, okay? As you guys may know, may not know, this is what's going down, okay? Rex Heuermann, as of yesterday, this is something that they were talking about yesterday, that they were going to have a huge press conference today to break the news on how they are going to be charging this man, this monster, this alleged monster, okay, with another M charge, okay? So now he is officially being charged. I don't know what just happened, guys. I'm sorry. My whole computer just shut down completely. So I apologize about that, but I'm here. Okay. I don't know what happened there. That was really, really crazy. So give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I had everything set up, ready to go for this show, and then out of nowhere, my computer just shut down. But I'm back. I'm here. That was just very, very weird. So give me 2 seconds, guys, because everything's still kind of booting back up. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? All right. Let me get some of these things set up. Hold on. Had all this stuff ready to go. I want to make sure there's nothing. Okay. That's crazy. Wow. What is going on here? Come on, computer. It is straight up tripping. Okay, hold on, guys. Shoot, now I got to figure that out again. That was crazy. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. That was weird. That was very, very, very weird. All right. I'm here. I'm sorry. Let's continue here, though. All right. As I was saying before, let me bring that back. Boom. Hopefully everything runs smoothly. Okay. If it goes out, I'll hop back on. We're going to finish. Okay. All right. But as I was saying, Rex Heuermann is being charged with M, okay, on the fourth victim, okay, fourth Gilgo Beach victim by the name of Maureen Brainard-Barnes, okay? Now, we already say, like a lot of us already know this story, but she was last seen in July of 2007 when she left a motel in Manhattan to meet a client for S work. Okay. Now, a lot of the victims that Rex Heuermann is being connected to have been in the industry. Okay. That they were S workers of some sort. Maureen Brainard-Barnes was one as well. Now, we have to look into this. This is absolutely crazy. We, of course, have the press conference, which we are going to be looking at here in just a minute. But I do want to share with you guys just a little bit of information from what they say here. So hold on real quick. All right. So this monster, this alleged monster, because, of course, it's still guilty and innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty, okay, in a court of law, but at the same time, let's keep it a bean, y'all. Let's keep it a straight bean with all the information that they have right now that is piling up against Rex Heuermann right now. Yeah, you could basically say he did this. I think it's safe to say they got the guy, right? They got this monster and they're about to bury this dude. All right, let's keep it a straight whole dollar. Okay, crazy, right? But let's go into this, all right? So Rex Heuermann has been charged with the M of a fourth woman more than a decade after she vanished from Manhattan. Her body later was found dumped along the Long Island shores. Again, this is one of many remains that were found in the Gilgo Beach area, just so you know. And of course, there's a lot of speculation. Was this a spot that a lot of other people just knew? A lot of other monsters, a lot of other serial killers went and just dropped off remains out there, right? Or did he do all of this? Remember, he's an older guy, okay? He's 60 years old. I'm sure he's been working and doing this for a very, very, very long time, okay? So the 60-year-old Manhattan-based architect appeared in Suffolk County Courthouse in Riverhead, Long Island on Tuesday morning, where he was hit with a fresh charge of second-degree M in the demise of Maureen Brainard-Barnes. She was last seen alive on the 9th of July 2007, where she left a motel in Manhattan to meet a client for S work. At that time, the 25-year-old was living in Norwich, Connecticut, but had traveled to Manhattan in early July, where she was staying at and working out of the Super 8 Motel on the 59 West 46th Street. She was known to advertise her services on Craigslist, Backpage, and other websites under the names of Juliana or Marie. Just before midnight on the 9th of July in 2007, she called a friend in Connecticut to say that she would be going to meet a client on an quote-unquote out call outside of the motel. She was never heard from again. Never heard or seen from again, I'm sorry. Over 3 years later, in December 2010, her remains were discovered dumped in a thick brush along the Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach. Her body had been bound by 3 leather belts, one of them which was embroidered or embossed with the initials WH or HM, which is very interesting, right? At the time of her disappearance, prosecutors alleged that Rex Heuermann was home alone in Massapequa Park with his wife and their 2 children, and with his wife and his 2 children out of state on vacation. Documents retrieved during a search of the accused monster's storage unit, as well as cell phone records, revealed that his wife and his children checked into a hotel in Atlantic City from the 6th of July through the 20th of July in 2007, according to a superseding indictment unsealed in court on Tuesday. He allegedly stayed behind in New York. So on the 9th, 3 days after his family left, that's when Brainard-Barnes, Maureen, disappeared. 4 days later, on the 13th of July, Rex joined his family in Atlantic City, according to prosecutors. Based on the foregoing, the M's of all four victims occurred at times when defendant Heuermann's wife and children were traveling out of state, which allowed defendant Rex Heuermann unfettered time to execute his plans for each victim without any fear that his family would uncover or learn of his involvement in these crimes. The superseding indictment states. Prosecutors also revealed a series of messages sent in March of 2020 from a burner phone used by Mr. Rex Heuermann to a woman advertising escort work in the Massapequa area. In the messages, this alleged monster, appears to be arranging a meeting with the woman based on when his wife is away. He says, I was free today. My wife is out for the day. That's what he allegedly wrote. The accused monster, according to prosecutors, had several burner phones held in fictitious names and used for illicit activities. 2 burner phones seized from Rex at the time of his arrest. 2 of them, by the way, he had on his person. 2 burner phones that he had. Just so you guys remember. Remember that? Remember that information from a few months ago? Crazy. 2 burner phones were seized from him at the time of his arrest. One from his person. The other one was in his office in his Midtown Manhattan architecture firm. And they had allegedly been used by him to contact S workers between 2020 and 2023. So again, I wonder. Of course, when I look at this too, I keep wondering, okay, sure. Clearly, it's easy for us to sit here and go, for other people who go, no, they got the wrong guy, right? Because clearly there's going to be some corner of the world that's going to sit there and go, no, but there's a chance he might be innocent. And sure, there might be, but I don't see it, okay? Sure, he could have been having those burner phones just to holler at S workers. Let's keep it real. Just trying to set up rendezvous and all that, and maybe he had an addiction towards S workers, but that still just doesn't work for me, okay? He had one on his person. He had one at his office because he knew for a fact that, hey, any given situation, any given time, he can, if he feels a little itch, if he wants to chase the dragon, satiate that hunger, that disturbing hunger, he could just pull out that phone and start dialing. He could pull out that phone and start hollering and trying to hook things up for himself. Especially it's like, oh, well, just in case if I forget the phone at home, I at least have that second one in the office. If I'm in Manhattan during that time, I could just go in there, knock it out, bada. He had 2 burner phones, y'all. 2 of them. That's crazy, okay? And you got to remember, he also had another phone, his regular phone, his normal life phone that he would use to contact family, etc. The other phones were his dirty phones. You see what I'm saying? Disgusting, y'all. And then also, you got to remember, this is 2020. Between 2020, he was still trying to holler. Between 2020 and 2023 on these new burner phones. So there could be other victims out here that we don't even know about. We've talked about that before, where he could have connections to other cases, unsolved cases, throughout the country. Shoot, let's just say on the East Coast, just that alone, there's a possibility. If you really think about it, plenty of S workers have gone to work like an out of call appointment, and never returned home again. Plenty of them that exist right now. So there's a possibility, because it's not like he just stopped. Clearly he didn't. So during these 3 years that he had these 2 new burner phones for those 3 years, what was he doing with those phones? What was he doing with those phones, guys? 2 of them. Come on. That's crazy. Court documents also revealed new chilling details about the suspected SKer's use of several online accounts, as well as his disturbing online searches, which we already know about all of those things. Okay? I'm not going to go into all that. Okay? Some really disturbing things you can see right here. Okay? Messed up-ish. It's gross. Email accounts allegedly used by him were used to access or slash conduct searches related to all this beyond spicy content you shouldn't even be trying to look up, y'all. That's just straight disgusting. Okay, grody. All right. Prosecutors allege that one of these email accounts was used as recently as July 2021. See what I'm saying? If you're telling me 2 years ago, or actually, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, he was using an email account, and he was conducting several searches into not only his Gilgo Beach homicide investigation, but what else was he looking up? What else was he using? Could he have been emailing other victims, other potential victims? Just think about it. Hundreds of electronic devices seized following his arrest also revealed that he carried out searches for the Gilgo Beach victims and their family members, for serial killers, and for software that would wipe or erase data from computers, according to the indictment. So, again, this is crazy stuff. He was looking I'm just saying, I know I say this a lot, but tell me you guilty without telling me you guilty. Let's keep it a buck. Okay? Tell me you guilty without telling me you guilty. Him guilty as hell, y'all. Guilty. So today, apparently this is from the prosecutors. They're saying this in their indictment. So today, defendant Heuermann stands before this court charged by the grand jury in a superseding indictment, which incorporates not only the above counts, but the additional charge of M in the second degree in violation of New York State Penal Law Section 125.25, a Class A1 violent felony of the demise of Maureen Brainard-Barnes on or about July 9th, 2007. He, of course, pleaded not guilty to the new charge in court on Tuesday. Of course, as Maureen's sister, Melissa, looked on from the courtroom, and his wife, wow, I'm still surprised that his family is still showing up. But his wife and his daughter were also in the court for the hearing. Okay. Now, one other thing I want to say. In total, the remains of 11 victims were found in that area, sparking fears that a SKer or SKers were on the loose. So I just want you to know, 11 bodies were found in that area. Are they all connected to Rex or no? It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, the fourth victim is Maureen Brainard-Barnes, and the other 3 victims are Megan Waterman, Melissa Bartholomew, and Amber Costello. All right, and they, of course, are known together as the Gilgo 4. And they all disappeared under similar circumstances, each working as S workers who advertised on advertised on Craigslist and vanished after going to meet a client. Same procedure, same MO, same rituals. They all were also found in similar circumstances. Their bodies were dumped within a quarter mile of each other, bound by belts or tape, and some wrapped in burlap along Gilgo Beach. Okay? So, and of course, brainard-barnes or Maureen was found while they were her body was found during the search for Shannon Gilbert. Okay, and she had gone missing from nearby Oak Beach. Okay, but this is what started it all. They went looking for Shannon and they found all these bodies. They started finding bodies. Okay, this is bad. All right, and Jackie Sue, you ain't wrong. You know, I guess better or for worse. I don't know. Unless she is in just the realm in the world of denial. You know what I'm saying? Like, never underestimate the power of denial. Okay? Never underestimate it. And never underestimate, oh, my husband didn't do that. You know, my spouse didn't do that. There's no way he or she could have done that. I get that part to a certain extent, but when you have the evidence pitting up against you like this, I don't know. It's hard to just sit in there and be in the hearings in support. We don't know. We don't know all that. All we know is that this information is very interesting, very surprising, and they got their guy. Okay, it doesn't matter how many ways you look at this. They got their guy. And also, you got to remember, love? I don't know. Love? I mean, that's the only other question I guess. That's the only other thing I can say. It's like, love? Throw love in there, maybe? I really don't know. Okay. Whoops. Let me fix that because there's no sound. But yeah, nonetheless, very interesting stuff. All right. And of course, this is all breaking. This is all just came out. Is it Aza? I think it's Aza. Nikki just said she is divorcing him. Now, if that's the case, great. But I wonder why she would be there. I don't know. He's pleading not guilty. And they have all this evidence. All started from a slice of pizza, y'all. Came from him just wanting to go grub down a pizza. But this is, I just don't know how anyone would sit here and go, yeah, my hubby is alleged and is charged of doing all these terrible things. He had a lot. There's a lot of evidence, a lot of digital footprints, if you will, leading him down the alleyway of guilty. I'm divorcing you, but I'm still showing up. Anyway, I don't know. What would you do in that situation? Because I mean, you know, I have the questions, but I don't even know what I would do if I was in that. Well, actually, I know what I'd do. I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there. That's just me, though. Maybe I'm just savage. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. But I'm gonna be real. I'm not. No, I'm not. I ain't showing up. I'm stepping far away from the situation. Personally. Okay. I'm stepping far. No, I am chucking up the deuces, like up. I don't care. I don't care if we had a whirlwind love and romance. I don't care. I'm deuces. Bye. It's great seeing you. You know, thanks for the kids. I'll be over here though. You know, and then side-eyeing my kids, worried that, you know, do they have violent streaks in them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, you know, I'd be looking at, like, tracing back life and going, oh my God, was that moment something? You see what I'm saying? I feel like I just be constantly thinking about all those things personally, going back to all the stuff from the past and going, wait, could that have been a nah, real? But you know what I'm saying? That's just me though. And you got to remember though, too, while she was out, you know, it's the whole thing like when the cat's away, the mice will play type of thing. She would leave with the kids. And I wonder how that whole thing went down. If she was like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to Atlantic City. Right. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, go ahead. I got things to do. I got work to do, but go. Just go ahead. No, I'll meet up with you guys a couple days later. And then he goes off and does these things. Imagine her thinking those things in the past. It's like, if only I said, hey, no, honey, I need you to come with me. Maybe these situations would be different. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot that would go on in my head. But would I show up to his hearings? I don't know if I could. I really couldn't. Oh, see, Rachel, you got a good point right there. Dang, I forgot about that. I heard about that story. She got to make money somehow, right? They got to pay some bills, and their home got ransacked a few months back, right? Rightfully so that it got ransacked. But that's actually a really good point. That's actually a really good point. Because she's got to show up because they need the footage of her showing up. So if you really think about it, she's getting paid to act. You know what I'm saying? She's getting paid to show up and then walk out and give her commentary. So if that is really true, and she getting paid to do this by the peacock, huh? That's interesting. That's interesting. All right. Jackie said, if I need money, I would do interviews speaking out against him. Yes, I agree. So it would be very tough. Man, would this be tough for me? I just couldn't do it. That check better be fat. Okay? That check better be just sexy as hell. Got to be tempting because I could not. I swear I couldn't. I just couldn't, y'all. I just couldn't. I couldn't show face in there. But if it was a matter of keeping the lights on and doing what I need to do, then I guess but would I exploit? I don't know. But if it's a matter of cancer, if she's battling cancer and it's for bills and stuff like that, I guess you do what you got to do to survive. But still, I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. I'm just going to say it. It's tough. But you know what? We got to get into this. Let's take a look at this press conference. There's a lot that's being said here. And again, they got so much. It's a wrap, son. Him guilty. Let's take a look. Hit the number 1. Let me know that you guys can hear this when I play it. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. I know everybody named Mama watching the Alec Murdoch situation. I will most likely be doing that starting tomorrow. I think they go on tomorrow too, right? Or is it just today? It may just be today. Somebody in the chat, let me know. Because if that's the case, then it's a wrap. But I may do a recap later on. I may do a recap later on the hearing from today. Okay, because I know everybody named Mama watching that. Okay, understandably. All right, I'm just a little late to the party, but I think there's more tomorrow. But if anybody knows, holla at your boy. Let me know. Okay, put it in the comments. Let's rock and roll.
Just allegations. We are going to.
It's going to be a little sticky in the beginning, guys. Hold on.
We look forward to proving them in court. We're here to discuss the superseding indictment. The only change in that indictment is that we've charged the murder of Maureen Brainard-Barnes.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, boy. Just fixing something here real quick so we can continue. Let's try this again. Come on, man. I don't know why this is tripping. Hold on. Crappier. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this another way. No. Un momento, por favor. There she is. Hold on, guys. Try this instead. Sorry, 1 second, guys. I'm fixing something up so we can watch this doggone thing without so much interruption.
And Captain Chris Casal bearing. This is
There we go.
Rob's first appearance. Now that he's acting commissioner, I know he's going to take a more active role in this case, which we welcome. We're also Homicide Lieutenant Kevin Byer and his team is here as well. We thank them for their hard work. As always, my partner Errol Toulon in the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, we thank them for their efforts. Errol is here with us. We have our New York State partners. We have Major Steve Budice and Captain Chris Casal. We want to thank them for their assistance. The FBI, part of the FBI team is here as well. We have supervising special agents Mike Lewis and Don Ansbacher. I want to thank them for their continued assistance in this case. I have my team, which I frequently forget to thank. I want to take the opportunity to thank them. Our chief investigator, Rich Zacharis, and his team, ADA's Larry Opizzo.
Thank you, Bob.
Nick Santamartino, Andrew Lee, and Michelle Haddad. I want to thank them for their continued efforts in this case. Sure, it's a little far from my face, but in addition to those task force partners, we've also received assistance or receiving assistance from the United States Secret Service, which are helping us with the downloads of a lot of the smart devices, as well as the Nassau County Police Department, Pat Ryder, as well as the Nassau County District Attorney's Office. And their assistance has been invaluable as well. So we want to thank them. And most importantly of all, I think I want to thank and acknowledge the victims' family members, many of them who are here. I want to thank them for their continued support and advocacy, not only for their family members, but for victims everywhere. And I think it's important that we keep in mind what this case is about. Maureen Brainard-Barnes was 25 years of age when she lost her life. Melissa Bartholomew was 24. Megan Wardeman was 22, and Amber Costello was 27. This is what this case is about. This is what this case should be about. And I'll confine my remarks about Maureen, but we could say the same thing about the other three women. Maureen was, she was an intellectual. She was a writer. She was an artistic person. She cared very deeply about the people that she loved. She fiercely protected them. She was a devoted sister, devoted mother, devoted daughter, and she's sorely missed by those that loved her. And I know I speak for the entire task force when I say it's been an honor and a privilege to work these cases. And to provide that small measure of closure for the family members, and again, these are just allegations, and we'll continue to work the case. We look forward to proving the allegations in court, but again, this case is about those victims. So I just ask that we all keep that in mind. As I've said, we've charged the murder of Maureen Brainard-Barnes to add to the already charged murders of Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. The defendant is charged with murder in the second degree, not murder in the first degree, because for murder in the first degree, you have to commit 3 murders within a 24-month period, and the numbers just don't work out. Maureen was murdered in July of 2009. July of 2007. Melissa was murdered in July of 2009. Megan, June of 2010. And Amber in September of 2010. So that just the numbers didn't work out for murder in the first degree as to the Brainard-Barnes murder.
Thank you, Ray.
So this indictment marks a change in the investigation. The grand jury investigation of the so-called Gilgo 4 is over. It has been concluded. And we will proceed with those cases in court. And again, we look forward to proving the allegations. But there should be no mistake. The work of the grand jury is continuing. Now we've talked about the transition from the grand jury to the prosecution. Well, with regard to those other bodies and those other murders, the grand jury, the task force will continue to investigate those cases. They'll be investigated through the grand jury, and when it is appropriate, and if we have anything to say, we'll say it at that time. But we're going to let that investigation play out. Before I turn it over for questions, I'll just talk about the bail letter. The bail letter discloses some further information on the case. Obviously, it's not all of the evidence in the case, but it does disclose some. So I'll synopsize that and open it up for questions at the end. With regard to the first part of the bail letter, it indicates that the task force has established that the defendant's family was out of state during Maureen Brainard-Barnes' murder, just as they were out of state during the murder of the other 3 victims. The family had checked into a hotel in Atlantic City in July 6th of 2007, and they remained there till approximately July 20th of 2007. And both the documentary evidence as well as witness statements have indicated that during the time of Maureen Brainard-Barnes' disappearance in on or about July 9th of 2007, Heuermann was not with his family. He joined them sometime thereafter. We also recovered 2 burner phones from the defendant at the time of his arrest. The phone ending in 1697 was recovered from his office, and the phone 2671 was recovered from his person. With regard to the phone ending in 1697, again, we see the same repetitive activity on that phone. It was used to contact numerous sex workers. We also were able to use it to identify an alias, Andrew Roberts, which was a known alias being used by the defendant. We were also able to recover a fraudulent email account, which is sandbagger303@gmail.com. The Sandbagger email address was used similar to the T-Hawk fraudulent account. The T-Hawk was used after Sandbagger, but the Sandbagger account was used once again to search for torture porn and info on the Gilgo case, on the Gilgo investigation, and victims' families. The defendant was particularly interested in the cellular telephone technology being not only used by the FBI, but specifically by the FBI in this case. We also recovered numerous electronic devices from the defendant, including a number of laptops, smartphones, tablets, From that, we learned that the defendant undertook numerous searches for software that could assist in erasing or wiping data from computer and digital devices such as Easy Hide IP and Shredder X. He used those two applications to destroy evidence in this case. We see that he continued to make prostitution-related searches before, during, and after the disappearance and murder of the 4 victims in this case. Notably, on one laptop that was recovered from the house, there was an attempt to shred evidence shortly before the defendant met with and murdered Melissa Barthelemy. Another laptop recovered in the house accessed Amber Costello's Backpage ad on September 1st, 2010, at approximately 9:03 p.m.
Okay.
And that is just hours before the ruse occurred around midnight on September 2nd. So the way the timeline works is on 9:03, that laptop that was recovered from the defendant's house was used to access Amber Costello's Backpage ad. Thereafter, at about 11:33, the burner phone that was used to kill Amber Costello contacted Amber Costello's phone from Massapequa Park. And later at 12:05, that same phone accessed that Amber Costello's phone, but this time the phone had moved from the Massapequa Park area to the West Babylon area where Amber Costello lived, and then back to Massapequa Park.
Hold on. So you're hearing a lot here, huh? Damn. I know we're not even done yet. We're going to get to the rest, but I just want that to I want some of this to soak in a little bit. Also, I wanted to talk about, I was going to pause it earlier, but that chunk right there is like, damn. Tell me you did it without telling me you did it. They did their work. Shout out to the to the investigation, law enforcement for doing what they did. Yes, it took them years to do whatever they needed to do, but they did what they needed to do, and they got this mother lover by the balls, y'all. This is bad. Okay. Also, I wanted to point out Sandbagger, Gilgo Beach. Don't you think that's a little interesting? Just saying. Tell me you did it without telling me you did it. Tell me you the Gilgo Beach, Gilgo Beach. I said, tell me you the Gilgo Beach serial monster without telling me you the Gilgo Beach serial monster by doing all the things that he's been doing. His digital footprints is a wrap. It's a wrap. He did not think about those things. Sure. He was able to distance himself from the thing. He was able to put their remains in places that may not be connected to him normally, if that makes any sense. But nonetheless, his digital footprints were found. His breadcrumbs got him out here. Okay? He is a little bee. He is a serial bee. That's what I'm gonna say. You feel me? All right? That Gilgo bee. Okay? Niche. All right, but still, think about that. That's crazy, y'all. Just like I say, I mean, he was still very crafty. Let's be real. He's been out here doing all kinds, allegedly, still. I know I just want to say he did it, but we got to say allegedly because guilty, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Let's not forget that, okay? But still, he was crafty enough not to get caught this entire time. The thing that's really going to get him was not only the pizza box and the pizza crust that he discarded in a public trash can in the streets of New York City. It's also his digital footprints on the burner phones and the email accounts that he had on his person, y'all. It's a wrap. It's done. Okay? Lock him up, throw away the key. But he's still out here saying, I didn't do it. I'm innocent. Stop with the mess. You had email accounts trying to holler at S workers. You had phone calls. You had phone calls that linked your phone to other phones, right? Then you had websites that were linked to your phone that trailed back to the burner phone that you had on your person, that you had in your possession. Let's not forget the security cam footage of him walking into a Verizon and paying up because it was like a pay-as-you-go type of burner phone. Doesn't matter. They found this dude. It's a wrap. He's done. He's done. I don't care. Oh, damn. I don't give zero dams that he's sitting here saying that he's not guilty. This man guilty as
So that is significant evidence as well. With regard, I think the biggest change is the DNA evidence, and we've received significant DNA evidence between the time of the first arraignment and this time, which I'll synopsize for you. At this time, we've always spoken, right from the very beginning, we spoke about the 5 hairs of significance that were recovered from 3 of the 4 burial sites of the women. So I'll just go through that. We earlier reported on mitochondrial DNA evidence as to 3 of those hairs. We now have nuclear DNA results for all 5 of the hairs. So I'll go through it. The first, the most significant hair for the purposes of the superseding indictment was the hair that was found on brainard-barnes. It was found on the buckle of the belt that secured her lower body, and we also found three hairs at the site of Megan Waterman's burial. We found 2 female hairs and 1 male hair. The male hair was found at the bottom of the burlap that Megan Waterman was wrapped in, and the 2 female hairs were found around the head area, 1 at the top of the burlap and 1 near the tape that was used to restrain Megan Waterman's head. The 5th hair was a female hair that was found in the area of Amber Costello's head. Now, at the time of the original arraignment, we reported on mitochondrial DNA results for 3 of those hairs. With regard to the Megan Waterman hair that was found outside the head area, it was consistent with the genetic profile of both Asa, the mitochondrial DNA profile of both Asa and Victoria Heuermann, and you could exclude the rest of the population to 99.69% of the rest of the population. With regard to the 1 male hair of significance that was found on the burlap with Megan Waterman, again, that genetic result was consistent with the defendants, and 99.96% of the population could be excluded. And then finally, we had the mitochondrial results with regard to the female hair found at the Costello burial site, and that was consistent with the genetic profiles of both Asa and Victoria Heuermann, and that was to an exclusion of 99.98% of the rest of the population. And if you remember the science of mitochondrial DNA, unlike nuclear DNA, you inherit that solely from your mother. So a mother and a child will have identical mitochondrial DNA profiles. So that is the mitochondrial results. We now have nuclear DNA profiles on all 5 of the questioned hairs, and we use this using the SNP or SNP process. And with regard to the hair found on Maureen Brainard-Barnes on that belt buckle, it was 7.9 trillion times more likely to have come from someone with the identical genetic profile as Asa Ellerup. With regard to the first hair that we got the mitochondrial DNA profile on, the female hair on Megan Waterman, that is 2.374 times 10 to the 48th power as likely to have come from someone matching the genetic profile of Asa Ellerup. And the way that number is expressed, that's scientific expression, I'm told. So that's basically 2.374, and you add 48 zeros to that.
Can I ask you something? Let me ask you guys something, because I know that they said that they had Asa's hair, like some of her hair strands were in the stuff. Now, I understand that could be touch DNA type stuff, or like, hair is everywhere. Let's keep it real. Okay. You know how it is, fellas. We all know. All right. If you have a live-in girlfriend or or a wife, you know for a fact that every single time you leave the house, you find her hair somewhere on your body or on your clothing or in your bag and stuff like that. So there's a good possibility of that, right? There's a good possibility of, as Toro just said, hair transfer, right? That could be it. Okay. But I gotta ask you though, could there be another possibility here? Now, I'm not sitting here saying that she out here doing stuff, and of course, I'm sure they did their due diligence. I'm sure they did their investigation on her as well, because of course they said that a lot of the times that he was out here doing these unthinkable things, there was no connection, right? That she was out of town, she was overseas, she was on vacation with the kids, so on and so forth. But again, it just a part of me goes, I'm just wondering, you know what I mean? Is there something else here or no? You know what I mean? Again, Toro just said, I think Asa is hiding something. And I'm wondering, could there be that too? Could there be a possibility of that? But then again, that's just a question. Not saying that we need to go after her or any type of way. I'm sure the police have done whatever they needed to do. I'm just saying, like, she very well may not have anything to do with his wrongdoings, with these unthinkable things. But still, there is that question of, like, I don't know, the way things are moving out here. It's just a little bit odd. You see what I'm saying? Why does that make me think Gypsy Rose? Anyway, let me just get into this. Okay, let's continue on. They got more. Yes, I know I said Gypsy Rose, but that's a whole other can of worms that just doesn't sit right in my soul, y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep keeping it a buck with y'all. Okay. And I know some of you guys feel some type of way about her and all that, but I don't know. Just something, how she's moving out here in these streets irks my soul. That's all I got to say about that. Let's continue to this case. Okay. Let's rock and roll.
So that's a number so large it doesn't even exist. A name for it doesn't even exist. With regard to the second hair that was found on the tape by the head of Maureen, of Megan Waterman, that was also consistent with a person with the same genetic profile as Asa Ellerup, and that was 2.778 times 10 to the 488th power. Could exclude the rest of the population. With regard to the male hair, we received the mitochondrial DNA profile. With regard to that, the nuclear DNA profile on that was 1.48 times 10 to the 169th power, as to come from someone sharing the same genetic profile as the defendant.
Hold on real quick. But there's a comment here I want to pull up here really quick. But also, as you can already see, we've already talked about the connection, right? The how precise the matches are to to Rex or Asa or any of those things, right? But there is something here that I wanted to ask, because this is still something new to me, and I don't know if this is true or not. So I'm just going to read this, because this is new to me. Okay, I've obviously we have been focused on other stories, other cases, other allegations, etc., other topics, but I just saw somebody else say this too, and now I'm seeing it again, and I'm just going to put it up here. Don't know if this is true or not. All right, but someone, if you know anything, please let me know, because this is news to me. Okay, one woman who participated in their swinger event said they left one of the unalived S workers at the Heuermann house, and allegedly Asa was there complaining someone stole something from her. Is this true? I'm just asking, because I heard something along the lines about parties, okay? Their own versions of freak offs, I guess. I don't know. Could that actually be real or no? Is that just ridiculous speculation and rumors, or is this a true story? Okay? Just someone who knows, if you got an article or something like that, send it my way, because that is something I've never heard before until today, until this show. So let me continue. Sorry, guys. But as you can see, he's sitting here saying, like, we got him. We have proof. We've done all the DNA stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they got him.
And finally, with regard to Amber Costello, we received the nuclear DNA profile on that, and that was 4.654 times 10 to the 63rd power, as likely to have come from someone with the same genetic profile as his daughter, Victoria Heuermann. So again, the mitochondrial DNA for mother and daughter are going to be the same. Nuclear are going to be separate. Everyone has a separate nuclear DNA profile except for identical twins. We believe these DNA results are significant. Nuclear DNA, as illustrated, is much more discriminate, and the SNP technology that was utilized allows you to get nuclear DNA results from hair. This is, cutting edge. We talked earlier, and the questions were asked with regard to mitochondrial DNA. And is mitochondrial DNA analysis cutting edge? Not really. It's been around since 1996. It's been, used in courts in the United States since about 1996, I think. This SNP process is cutting edge. There are a couple of cases around the country where it's being used, but no finished cases, I believe. But it is scientifically accepted in both the medical and forensic community. It's used in the familial DNA context. So the science is certainly extremely solid. And the good thing about it is it's allowed us to differentiate between those Victoria Heuermann and Asa Ellerup hairs. So that's important. So that's basically the bail letter. I'll open it up to questions, but I just want to end with, we said at the very beginning that we were going to take a comprehensive look at the Gilgo 4 cases. I think we've done that. We've completed that. We use the grand jury process. Now we move to the second phase. The second phase being the prosecution of these 4 cases, as well as continuing to use the grand jury to investigate the other cases, the other bodies, and the other murders, which we think are investigatively significant. And we're certainly going to do that. We're going to use the same methodology. We're going to use the grand jury. And if we come to a result in the time, and when the time is appropriate, we'll have further comment on that. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Regarding the ongoing investigation, how many recovered bodies, other victims are part of that?
So we're not going to talk about it because we're going to wait until we're able, we'll talk about that in court. But suffice to say that it will be a comprehensive investigation with regard to a number of the bodies. So I think later the families will be speaking. They have an attorney that they're going to be speaking, and there's going to be I'm sorry not to cut you off, but right after this. Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off. No, go ahead.
So you mentioned that the Secret Service helped you guys out with the devices, downloading and finding out about what data had been destroyed. Who's helping out with the DNA? Like, why was there a second rollout?
So we use, of course, our excellent Suffolk County Crime Lab has helped us with DNA analysis. We've also utilized 2 outside forensic labs. We haven't disclosed those names just because we want them to do their work. We've disclosed some of those reports, so the defense is aware of the names of those 2. We just haven't disclosed it, and their work continues. Yes, the grand jury investigation with regard to Gilgo continues. Yes. Yes. Well, I think there are going to be a couple of words spoken by the members of the family after we're done with ours. Right here. So I think with regard to the DNA, first you have what we had previously was mitochondrial DNA. There are, and heretofore, mitochondrial DNA was really the only DNA you could use to get DNA, to extract DNA from hair. So that's good about mitochondrial DNA. The numbers are big, but not as big as with nuclear DNA. And because you inherit your genetic profile from your mother, there are a lot of people walking around with identical genetic mitochondrial genetic profiles, and there are not as many base pairs with mitochondrial DNA. I think there's like 12,500, a little bit more base pairs in mitochondrial DNA. There's 3 billion base pairs with nuclear DNA. So nuclear DNA is like sort of the gold standard. If you could get to nuclear DNA, the numbers are going to be much larger. So you want to get to nuclear DNA because other than the numbers are high, and other than identical twins, everyone's DNA profile is different. No.
Heuermann's attorney says nuclear DNA came out of nowhere. He, up until now, didn't believe there was any. This is obviously, as you say, more certain as far as the case. How confident are you in the case? And what do you have to say about it?
Sure. I think that nuclear DNA existed in the hair since they were first recovered in 2010, and now the science has caught up.
Hell yeah, technology.
I would say that's a
Science,
a
bitch.
good break for justice, a good break for the investigation. Others might disagree, but the fact that we were able to utilize technology to obtain a nuclear DNA result that we are confident in, and that we are confident in defending in court and making admissible, these are all good things.
What took so long with Maureen brainard-barnes? I mean, the other ones were due in July, the 3. What took so long? Can you speak to her circumstances specifically, especially because she did have hair allegedly on the belt?
So we spoke about the need for investigative secrecy, and as we were working through, and at the time we thought it was necessary to take the case down, we had completed 3 out of the 4 investigations, with Maureen brainard-barnes being the 4th that we did not complete. One of the main reasons why we didn't complete the Maureen brainard-barnes investigation is because we knew we had this hair, and we were awaiting, among other things, we were awaiting the result of that nuclear DNA result, which didn't occur at the time of the original takedown. So that was the main reason.
Can you just speak to what this man means to the task force for the family, his charge related to what they've done to the family?
Well, I think it means a lot to the task force because we know that it provides a small measure of closure for the families, and so we're really happy to provide that for them. We know that there's a lot of hard work to go, that these are allegations, that we need to prove them, but it's nice to be able to let the families know that notwithstanding, a lot of the things that have been said, we've always focused the case in the right direction. We always kept the victims in mind, and we were able to obtain a result, which we're pleased with.
And here, I just want to clarify, the grand jury which convened for the Gilgo for the same one who actively investigating.
Correct.
Okay, and so in addition to the defense also tried to pass things out on
Misty 2 S-dubs.
evidence, but they also said something to the effect of just because an individual solicits prostitutes, it doesn't make them a killer. In regards to the new evidence of the burner phones, is there anything you'd like to share with that?
No, I think that's what trials are for, and we look forward to proving these allegations in court.
And
That's what trials are for.
for specific circumstances, I know we've spoken about all 4. What specifically does your office know about the circumstances of her death so far?
Well, I mean, I think that the circumstances of all the 4 women are very similar. Their backgrounds are similar. Unfortunately, their deaths are very similar, and that's why we focused on the Gilgo 4. But it's what we're willing to disclose about that death is everything that we've talked about now, with regard to the utilization of the 4 separate burner phones to lure these women out to Massapequa Park, where they were unfortunately murdered. Sure. So, basically what is required to us of prosecutors is we have grand jury material, which is secret, and then we have stuff which is publicly disclosed. So we comment on information that's publicly disclosed. There are literally mountains of information that have not been publicly disclosed, but I'm ethically enjoined from speaking about those. So I can't speak about those. So I won't. That's it? Sure. Yeah. Oh, hi, how are you?
Remember Gilgo Baggins? Anybody remember that? Gilgo Baggins? kind of a throwback because we haven't talked about this case in a while.
Okay, you just heard the DA, Suffolk DA, Ray Tierney, speak on the fourth individual indicted on a new murder charge in the killing of the fourth woman, Maureen Brainard-Barnes. We're referring to Rex Heuermann. We're now going to hear from the attorney from the families. This is Gloria Aldred at the podium speaking on behalf of the families.
Yeah, Gloria Alred. What she says is pretty powerful too. Thought provoking as hell as well.
I'm attorney Gloria Allred, and today I'm here at the Suffolk County, New York courthouse with 5 of my 6 clients who were relatives or a friend of alleged victims of defendant Rex Heuermann. Mr. Heuermann, as you heard, has been indicted on first and second degree murder charges against Melissa Bartholomew, second degree murder charges of Maureen Brainard-Barnes, and first and second degree charges of Megan Waterman. I represent the family members of the alleged victims. Lynn Bartholomew is the mother of victim Melissa Bartholomew. Amanda Funderburg is the sister of Melissa Bartholomew. Nicolette Brainard-Barnes is the daughter of Maureen Brainard-Barnes. Melissa Kahn is the sister of Maureen Brainard-Barnes. Sarah Carnes was the friend of Maureen Brainard-Barnes. Elizabeth Meserve is the aunt of Megan Waterman and the legal guardian of Megan's daughter. Lynn Bartholomew was not able to be present today, but did try to get here and will be present in the future. They have asked me to represent them as their victims' rights attorney in this case, and I'm honored to support them. 39 years ago, I was contacted by a sex worker named Rhonda DaCosta in California. She performed that kind of work because she needed the money to support herself and her young child. She had met a man named Daniel Zabuski and agreed to provide him with oral sex for $30. But he wanted to rape her and sodomize her, and she alleged that she said no. But he did it anyway. Then he stole money from her. Zabuski was charged with rape, sodomy, and grand theft. Zabuski's criminal trial was held in Pasadena, California, in front of Judge Gilbert Alston. But before the jury could decide the case, the judge dismissed it. He stated to the Pasadena Star News, quote, "The law was set up to protect good people, you, my wife, my daughters, my granddaughters. It doesn't protect a street-walking prostitute from a contract gone awry. This case shouldn't have been filed. A whore is a whore is a whore," end quote.
Damn.
It was at this point that Rhonda contacted me. I was appalled by the judge's comments. This case wasn't about contract. It was about rape and every woman's right to say no. Judge Alston had in effect declared open season on prostitutes. Rapists and those who beat and murder prostitutes could interpret this to mean that they now had a license to rape, beat, and kill because of the criminal justice system, which would not be there to protect prostitutes or give them access to justice. The judge seemed to be telling rapists that if they committed crimes of sexual violence against sex workers, that the law would protect the abuser by denying the victims access to the courts. Evidently, at that time, sex workers were not entitled to protection of the law from acts of rape and sodomy. I mention this case today because the suggestion from Judge Alston seemed to be that sex workers are not good people. That notion is dangerous to women's lives, whether or not they are sex workers. The courthouse door should never be shut to any woman who is victimized by gender violence. No man has a license to hurt, kill, or do anything else to a woman without her consent. And as I predicted 39 years ago, after the judge made his comments, Zabusky went on to rape, beat, and assault a number of other women. Finally, he was sentenced to a term of 80 years in prison in other cases after Rhonda. I was successful in filing a civil case against Zabusky for Rhonda over the objections of Zabusky's attorney, and a different judge allowed me to continue litigating the case for Rhonda. However, sadly, Rhonda passed away, and therefore we never went to a civil trial. The point of what happened to Rhonda is that failing to afford sex workers access to justice sends a message to men who victimize them that the victimizers may never face consequences for their wrongful and criminal acts. This is 2024. Will there be justice for women who just needed some money to help support their children or themselves? It is long overdue to provide justice for vulnerable women who are missing and murdered. It will be for the jury to decide if this defendant will be found guilty of the murder of Maureen, may she rest in peace, and the murder of other women for whom the defendant has been indicted. We look forward to a fair trial for the defendant and justice for Maureen. Next, I would like to introduce Nicolette Brainard-Barnes, who is the daughter of Maureen, and Nikki, as we call her, has never done an interview, and she will make a statement today. And she's very brave because this is heartbreaking for her. Nikki.
Real quick, I just wanted to say this because I see how much you guys are, deeply moved by this conversation or by her speech, by her statement here. And yeah, I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of S workers that I've said, like I said earlier, there's a lot of S workers that are still missing to this day. Went on an appointment, okay? Went out on call, never to return again. We hear plenty of stories about young men and women going out there that are S workers, going out and never coming back. But we never hear them, like those stories and those topics. Their names are never really uttered as much as we hear about the young 4-year-olds or the young toddlers that we have that go missing and everything. And of course, they all deserve the same amount of light under the sun, right? But what I'm trying to say is, I find it very interesting that you have 11 people. Let's remember, she said justice for Maureen. Absolutely. Absolutely justice for her. I'm interested to see what happens with the other, not only just the 4, but the other, 7 other victims, right? If they are going to be added onto Rex Heuermann's charge list, okay? But if you notice, I think this is the reason why we see a lot of S-cares going and using workers, taking the lives of workers rather than, I don't know, a doctor or, you know, just a regular average Joe civilian, because they instantly know in their heads that they're not going to get as much attention. They're going to think, oh, you know, some John just, you know, went crazy or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But obviously this is changing. And you remember, she even said, that really shocked me too, what that judge said. Kind of like a rose is a rose is a rose, right? But he was saying whore, right? It's crazy to think that that's what one judge was thinking back in that time. And it wasn't very long ago. Let me remind you, that wasn't very long ago. So who's to say how other people look at S workers out here when it comes to investigations? It's crazy. It's heartbreaking. And I'm hoping that with this case and others, we start to push those stories in these cases out here, because they need protection just as much as anybody else. Just because they go out and do something that is illegal, okay, does not mean, well, illegal in most states, okay, does not mean that they don't deserve the same amount of rights and the same amount of protection as anyone else. Let's continue. Daughter's coming up and speaking out here.
First, I'd like to thank law enforcement who have been dedicated to working on this case. I very much appreciate your efforts on behalf of these vulnerable victims. I'm here to speak for my mom, Maureen. I was only 7 years old when my mother was murdered. Her loss drastically changed the trajectory of my life. There are countless times I needed her and she was not there. I remember she read to me every night, and now I can no longer remember the sound of her voice. I wish she was here today, but she was taken from us. For years, it looked like there might not be charges filed against any suspect for the murder of my mother. While the loss of my mom has been extremely painful for me, the indictment by the grand jury has brought hope for justice for my mom and my family. I owe so much to my mom, and I know that she would want me to speak out for her in this process and let everyone know who she really was. Even though it was difficult for me, I'm doing this because I want her to be remembered as the loving mother that she was. Thank you.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay. The next speaker will be Melissa Kahn, and she is the sister of Maureen Brainard-Barnes. Would you like to identify the person standing next to you?
This is my husband, Christopher Can.
Real quick, I just want to say something. I didn't get a chance to say this, but I'm going to say it now. You know, when it comes to this Asa doing this documentary, I agree. I think the money that she's getting, I understand, you know, she's sick and all that, but at the same time, and, you know, I know medical bills are not cheap. Okay. Damn this, how the health insurance system is actually structured and how it works. But at the same time, man, that money should be going to the victims, to the victims' families. That's just what I think too. Because I think it's a bad look. I think it's a really bad look that she's just taking the money and doing this Peacock documentary. I don't know. I don't agree with it at all. I really don't. There's plenty of family that have spent countless hours, money, blood, sweat, and tears just to get to here, just to get right here. You know what I'm saying? And they're pulling money out of their own pockets. They're losing their own jobs because of their focus and passion behind this particular case. And the fact that this woman is going to be walking around with a bag, I'm not with it. I'm just not with it. If this man is definitely found guilty, let's be real, everything's pointing at him guilty right now. Like, let's be real. Okay? Let's keep it a buck. Doesn't matter. that money should be going to the victims' families. All of them. That's millions of dollars that those families, I'm sure over the 10 plus years, these families have been trying to unearth, trying to get the truth, etc. Man, come on. Imagine how much money has been spent just to get where they are right now. And now we got Asa going out here scooping a bag because of her husband's wrongdoings. Hollywood. Okay, let's continue.
Hello, my name is Melissa Can, and I am the proud sister of Maureen brainard-barnes. I would first like to thank the collective efforts of the Suffolk County DA's office, New York State Police, Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, the Gilgo Beach Task Force detectives, and the past detectives on this case. 13 years ago, Maureen was found murdered after she went missing for 3.5 years. Throughout these years, I had continued to hold on to hope that one day there would be justice for Maureen, and that whoever took Maureen's life would be held accountable. Today is another important chapter in the long pursuit of justice for Maureen. It has been 16 years since the last time I saw my sister, 16 years since I heard her voice, because 16 years ago, she was silenced. Losing Maureen has become a wound that never truly heals. It remains a part of me. Maureen was a mother of 2 amazing children, and they will forever be without their mother. Sorry. Maureen was my older sister who was always there for me when I needed her. Maureen was inspired to be a writer, and she loved reading books. She was only 25 years old. She had her whole life ahead of her. Maureen would never get the chance to show the world how talented she was. My family will never get the chance to know who Maureen would be today because her life was tragically taken. Throughout these 13 years, my family has painstakingly endured Maureen being judged and marginalized. Maureen was more than how she has been portrayed. She was first and foremost a loving mother, a caring sister, and a giving friend. With the loss of Maureen came unimaginable pain and panic. My life shattered with the confirmation of Maureen's death. Due to the experience of my sister going missing and being found murdered, I would suffer from PTSD. I would overthink every situation I deemed a threat because the worst possible thing in my life has happened. I became guarded. I overprotected the ones I loved around me because I knew firsthand that evil exists in this world. I want to ask everyone to please remember the victims: Maureen, Megan, Melissa, and Amber. I hope that everyone will also remember the other victims from whom charges has not been filed against any suspect. These victims had families. They were human beings with aspirations and hope for a better future for themselves. They have families who love and miss them. Maureen, Melissa, Megan, and Amber are no longer here to speak for themselves, and I am glad the family members of other victims are continue to speak out for their loved ones, and I support them because they know their loved ones best, and they miss them more than anyone will ever know. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then this channel just abruptly just cuts into this video, which is just trash in my personal opinion.
And Nikki are not going to be taking questions today. However, if you have a few questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them. If you would like a copy of their statements and mine, I have a few copies here, but you can also email me, and most of you have my email.
Okay, that's Gloria
One
Alred. She
last
is
thing
the
before I
attorney
take a few
for the
questions. We
families.
have a photo.
You just heard from
I could
Maureen
email
brainard-barnes'
each of you
family. You
moving
heard
forward.
from her daughter.
do
You
have
heard
it
from
here
her
in black
sister.
and
Some of the
white.
words that echoed
Shows Maureen
in the press conference. Her daughter, specifically Nikki.
So yeah, guys. One, I am very, very happy that the families, at least 4 families right now, are getting justice, or at least getting closer to justice. Let me just say that. So I am really, really happy that we're getting closer to that. One thing that I do appreciate that Mrs. Allred said here, okay, Gloria Allred said, is there needs to be more awareness on a lot of different on these cases as well. These cases that are out here, there are plenty of S workers that have gone missing, that are found gone, unalived, that don't even get even a glance in their direction. And there could also be another Rex Heuermann out here. There can also be a Gilgo Beach monster out here lurking in the streets, plotting and doing these things to other S workers because they believe what many others, I guess, are believing as well, that these S workers don't deserve any attention when it comes to these types of crimes committed to them. It's unbelievable. And I mean, of course, you know what? You know, we've talked about many other cases, right? We've talked about many other people of all races that deserve to have more focus. But that's one thing I think we don't talk about, is the side of the S work world and how they're risking it all every single time they walk out of a motel, into a motel room, whenever they go on, you know, a specific appointment. I mean, they are literally risking it all, you know? So there needs to be a little bit more attention and focus on that as well. But again, we're getting closer. Those families are getting closer to some justice. But I think also, you know, Asa, you know, still showing up and all that. I mean, I don't know. Something obviously does not feel right to me. It still irks my soul personally. Now that I hear about this Peacock documentary, and, you know, she's obviously going to get paid for even just showing her face in it, putting in her 2 cents and all that, you know, it's very interesting. And it's very frustrating because, shoot, the power of the dollar it does some crazy things, some really, really crazy things. And instead of them paying that to Asa, which again, I still think that Asa should be like, no, I'm taking this check. Thank you so much for giving it to me, but I'm giving it to the families of the victims. That's what I'm hoping, that she has plenty of time to change the course of where that money is going. But still, they got so much right now on just 4 women now that show me that he may very well be connected to all 11 here. That could very well be the situation. Only time will tell. But you got to remember, out of the 4, all the things that got him in trouble were because of the digital breadcrumbs that he left behind on cell phones, emails, etc. Without that stuff, and of course, let's not forget his wife's hair sample, DNA, etc. All those things being connected. Okay, that's crazy, guys. That's crazy. That, to me, they got their guy. Now it's just a matter of if they're able to connect him to more and more victims. And also, I'm going to say this too. I'm wondering if he's going to be looking at anything harsher than just life behind bars, because just these 4 alone, I don't know. I just don't know. And I wonder what how the state looks at DP as well. Okay. Crazy, guys. This information is absolutely crazy. And again, the thing is when we find out more information, because obviously they're still doing work. They're still building a bigger and bigger case every month. It seems like there's more and more information coming out with his connection to another victim, another case, and all that. So there's going to be it's going to be tough for him here very, very soon. But justice is coming, guys. Justice is most definitely coming. And and the thing is Ray said this. She needs to be charged as well. I'm still wondering, what would she get charged with? You see what I'm saying? If she's innocent, then she's innocent, right? If she went on those vacations unknowingly, unbeknownst to her, that he is out here doing these unthinkable things and discarding their remains in the Gilgo Beach area, if she's has no knowledge of that, she can't really get charged. But I'm wondering if there's any connection to her and Rex at all. Okay. And I'm going to look into the whole parties, these parties that they would have. I think that's very interesting to look into and find out as well. But guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Again, when there's more information about this, for a fact, we're going to talk about it. If there's breaking news, if there's a press conference, we will be talking about it. I'm also curious about the Alex Murdaugh situation. So I'll be looking into that. And if there's any big updates on that, for a fact, I'll be on to talk to you guys about that. Give you guys that information because you really need it. Okay. And I need it too. Okay. But I appreciate you coming in and watching this. I know this was live like an hour before I came on, but I do appreciate you coming in here and talking with me, chopping it up with me. I really do appreciate it. Do me a favor though, if you can, please go check out my merch page. It is pascalmerch.com. I got some really great stuff. The Funfetti set, okay, is out. They're terrible photos, but they're great. They look amazing. You've already seen me wear the hoodie and all that. There's top and bottom. The Funfetti outfits are out and they're selling like crazy right now. They are selling like crazy. So please go check out pascalmerch.com. That would be greatly appreciated. I got a bunch of stuff, not only just the Funfetti, a bunch of other things that are custom made by yours truly. So go check those things out. Okay. Please don't forget to hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on Facebook. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button on my Facebook page. Okay. Please go subscribe to my secondary channel, the Pascal Show Clips. That'll be greatly appreciated as well. Okay. And I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. I got to hop off here, but if there's any updates going on, because there's a lot of true crime stuff going on today. So we will be back here in a few hours to chop it up about something completely different. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll be talking to you guys very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.